Once you fly into the Indian season, we're going to start mixing the wind from the rain. How we operate it's a boat at the marina on the right side of the marina. We're going to look for the yacht on the right side of the water. If you're on the left side of the marina, then your yacht is going to be on the left side of the water or the other side of the side. As long as it's on the right side of the marina, so I'm looking at the right side of the water, yacht, fly around just a little bit. Just to go far enough. Direction, I can see the yacht. While the yacht at this point, you want to start leveling up the helicopter, you want to give it a low, you want to prepare to land, and you know the yacht knows you have very stress. You want to shoot you out the paper, you want to jump down a little bit, parachute down to the tweet on the yacht. Make sure you do the swift thing after you get it, make sure you drop it, take it long.
Okay, the networks are down, the equipment is ready, and we've crippled their supplies. Mrs. Rackman has written our check and given us the green light. We're good to finally move on that submarine and stop this threat once and for all. When you're ready, get your crew together and head back to planning.
Now you unlock the door, you want to make sure you don't forget. Go to the right side of the control panel and save your air. Once you can save your air, the place is going to allow you to speed down and complete the mission. You can just jump into the helicopter that's not going out. And you can make this way back to the sequence pretty quick. Back here, still four. Go to the right side, stick the tape.
For the lives of billions. When the left goes to the field and debates, they do not choose. They escalate. Donald Trump didn't just survive their investigations, their indictments.
It goes from frame to frame.
It means the public regains control over its own government. It means accountability for those who believe they were above the Constitution itself. This isn't just political anymore. It's personal. The people who stood by quietly for decades are standing up. The people who were told to shut up.
These are the two fastest HSW upgraded vehicles in GTA Online. At number 2, we have the Gran Turismo. So, Speaker Mike Johnson, Speaker Johnson, congratulations. Before we get to how you got this done, the political criticism of the bill, and I know you're hearing this, is that voters won't feel the tax cuts because that's an extension of what they're already accustomed to, but they will feel the Medicaid and the food stamp cuts. You would say what to that?
No, I would say that's nonsense. What we basically enacted in this agenda what we did in the first 2 years of the Trump administration, but this time we did it on steroids. You remember, after that first 2 years, we brought about the greatest economy in the history of the world because we cut services and regulations. We did that again. We extended it, but we added all sorts of other features to really jet fuel the U.S. economy, and everyone will be experiencing that before the midterm frame, and that's what's so important.
Now, Mr. Speaker, I have to get to this. President Trump just posted about you on Truth Social moments ago. You read? He has great strength and wisdom. Google now is one of the most successful speakers in the House history, maybe even the best of them all. Thank you, Knight. Okay, tell me, who was the hardest to convince to support this bill, Mr. Speaker? And tell me about what the press described as the conga line running through the Oval Office. How important was the president and the VP's efforts?
To say first, we have the commander-in-chief who is truly in command. He has brought America back. It is peace through strength, and he exerts that strength in every way he can to help advance the agenda and advance the best interest of the American people. And that's certainly extended to what happened in the Congress. I mean, he was directly engaged in all. He knows the issues. He called me multiple times in the process over the last several days and said, put me on the phone with anybody you need. He also brought in small groups of members that conga line to the White House and visited with him. And that was very effective. So he's one of the greatest advocates, and it's been a great partnership to work. And it's what a unique thing, and what a special thing it is to have unified government, where you have Republicans in charge of the White House, the Senate, and the House. We're using it effectively, and we're going to deliver for the American people.
Who particularly, is there anybody you had to call in the big dog to help push over the edge?
Survive their investigations, their indictments.
Well, you know, I had several subgroups of members who are concerned about different things. You know, we have a very diverse caucus. They're all conservative Republicans, but they come from all over the country.
Now, they are preparing to impeach him for the third time, not because of what he's done, but because of what he represents. This isn't justice. It's the revenge of a ruling class that can no longer rule by consent.
Go to the observatory.
We need to understand exactly.
That briefcase you collected contains details of an armed shipment for Avon, a barrage weaponized ATV. It's about to be flown in over the city. You're gonna intercept it at the observatory, take out its escort convoy, and get it for our use.
Hello, peoples. We run a war game similar situation many times in Russia. Always. Evil computer gets weapon, and then kills all government-based intelligent life. This barrage SUV, heavily weaponized. He make very quickly into evil robot kill car. Bombs, they kill the big group of human. Cars get the human in little hard-to-reach places. Hunt and kill everyone you know and love. Not fun.
That's, quite a picture.
Not pretty, not nice. Contemporary art. Public existence.
Oh, well, thank you, Mr. Bogdan. No one wants Clifford running a fleet of kill cars with 50 cal miniguns and rear grenade launchers. It'd be like a rideshare app for wholesale slaughter and devastation. But we especially don't, because we're being paid to stop him. And we might be able to use it later or sell it to someone a little less, genocidal. Okay, it's gonna take some firepower to bring down a heavily armed helicopter convoy. We've given you Mark II sniper rifles with explosive rounds. You've got some massive stopping power, all right. So, you know, be careful where you aim them. The barrage is suspended from a twin-rotor heavy lift chopper. Think about where you bring it down. You'll need to get in there to collect. We'll speak when you reach the observatory. Well, I'll speak.
This really impeachment stuff is not a legal thing. It's a narrative thing. That we have to put into our constitutional law. Go back to the press office, social media, your reality, the goal of this stuff, the goal of preview of the arena, they would change the news feed and set it on fire entirely. What started in 2016 as disbelief that a man could pluck magnetic news is now metastasized into a full-blown authoritarian impulse to erase it. Everyone who supports it, and political legitimacy altogether. This is not healthy opposition. This is not development and flaky future election. Consider the precedents already set. When they used the steel dossier, now thoroughly experimented to justify wiretapping. That was purposeful. That was sabotage. When they used the whistleblower complaint built on second-hand knowledge to recruit them over a phone call, that wasn't justice. That was political fear. When they launched active investigations across multiple jurisdictions, this to bury them underneath the people's court dates and public shame, that wasn't considered fear. That was persecution in plain sight. Every single time those efforts were collapsed, they were waiting for a the Russian police to vote. The impeachment of the Ukraine cut flat. January 6th trial is no legal basis and the televised film. And now this is so good. But ask yourself, what kind of democracy needs to kill its opposition before an election? What kind of democracy needs to rig social media algorithms to suppress one party's message? What kind of democracy prosecute speech, criminalize dissent, and accuse private citizens who dare to run again? These aren't the actions of conflict leaders. These are the actions of one of the leaders. And the more they fail to put them down, the more recklessly they back out. And yet, with every attempt to expose them. Because this isn't about something, it's about power. Raw, absolute, unaccountable power. Power that no longer asks you to consent. Power that laughs at due process, smears at elections, and manipulates justice to preserve itself. If Trump is really a dangerous and criminal as unfit as they claim, why would they need to bet the viewers this many times just to stop it? Why not let the voters decide? Why not let the Constitution work as written? If they don't want a free election, they want a good verdict, and they want it long before the American people get to say, this impeachment is not a mistake. It is a message. A message from a regime that now survives by suppressing the very system which claims to defend. And the most dangerous part, they convince themselves that the surrogate candidate is the same thing as saving the country. The reason fathers forget to comment. The man they're trying to destroy is not running. He's running straight into the fire. Every time they attack him, they remind the American people why he's running in the first place. This is not about us. That's going to be a very long time. The impeachment once admitted as a last resort mechanism to corrupted his power. Now it's stripped of all constitutional gravity and turned into a televised tool of narrative.
Right, you're there. Keep your eyes on the horizon. The convoy's on its way. The more you damage that heavy lift chopper, the harder it'll be for it to maintain altitude. So shoot it enough and our ATV will ease down to the ground with minimal damage. That's the plan, at least. Hey, eyes up. Should be passing overhead. Remember, you have those explosive sniper rounds. Okay. You've got a fight on your hands with some angry weapons manufacturers. Almost there. Concentrate fire on the twin rotor. It's losing altitude. Boom! Chopper down! Now grab that vehicle and get the hell out of there!
Take to Sandy Shores Airfield. We used to crush the Army, save world from bullets.
You have 2 mounted guns on the barrage. Let's show Avon what he's missing, huh?
By the time facts come out, 18 months later, the damage is already done. Public memory is redone. The political wounds remain told. That's closed and protected by the press. The goal is not to defeat corruption, it's to define it, by extension define all people, as really citizens like all. It's criminal, threats to democracy.
Okay. You've taken out the arms dealers, you've got the ATV. Word has got to Avon, and he is pissed. He's got his people on the way. Here comes Creep Force 5.
The shameless repetition of 484.
Not only is Avon an evil megalomaniac who can destroy humanity, he has a serious company culture problem. Look at him. How many wearables do you need before becoming a cyborg? I'd say these guys are right on the line. I bet they got implants too. Just pretend you're blowing up Avon again and again, yeah? I know that would help me. They sent choppers to intercept us. Use the turrets. Blast them out of the sky. There's more coming. Watch out. Avon's not happy with us. There's a lot more vehicles inbound. That's an ATV, right? All-terrain vehicle. Drive wherever you need to.
Yo, they driving on wild dogs. They drive the car, man. Fuck around and get us killed. Watch, let's see. You heard the man. Take the runway. Avon's storing vehicles and supplies on the airfield. They've all got to go. Easy. Army will attack. Be on the outlook.
And in this context, without a process of constitutional oversight, it is an act of political intimidation.
Hey, plane on the runway. Don't let it take off. Anything that moves and anything that doesn't. Anything Avon can use against us. Keep it up. Don't leave him with anything. Come on. Total decimation.
This is not just one man's fight. Americans died. About it, but the public life itself, to strip him of his right to run, to speak, to assemble, to protect himself from force without letting it back. And the most important part, every time the American people go back to the true Buster Guts, the public back, the public they do strength. While this is flooded too closely to the mountains of the car.
You're almost home. Just get past those guys and you're there. Blow on by. Come on. Okay.
Hold on.
Avon wanted that ATV and he wanted that airfield. This is a big win for us. No time to celebrate. Maybe everyone's close to another days later than before.
Another court being activated, another lawsuit is filed, another judge is elected. These political authorities are never trusted by the press. These are just it's an accident that Donald Trump is facing more simultaneous legal attacks than any American presidential candidate in modern history. And yet not one of his accusers is facing a single consequence for the lies and failures that came before. This is where the entire narrative falls apart. Because if the goal were truly justice, if the motivation were truly law and order, then the rules would apply in both directions. But they never do. Hunter Biden can lie on federal gun forms, peddle foreign influence, and fail to pay taxes for years. And he gets a sweetheart deal that collapses only when the corruption becomes too obvious to hide. Hillary Clinton can delete 30,000 subpoenaed emails and gets nothing but applause on the late-night circuit. But Donald Trump questions election integrity or declassifies documents under his authority as president. And suddenly we are told he must be impeached to save the republic. So the question becomes, what are they really afraid of? And the answer is simple. They are afraid that Trump is not just surviving their attacks, he is gaining strength because of them. They fear that every courtroom appearance, every legal ambush, every congressional witch hunt is no longer eroding his support. It is galvanizing it. And that's why this impeachment effort is not just another partisan movement. It's a final warning, a signal, not just to Trump, but to everyone watching, that if you dare to defy this system, this is what happens.
Yep.
They want Trump politically exiled. They want his base demoralized. They want future outsiders too terrified to even try. Because what Trump threatens is not just an election result. He threatens the entire machinery. He threatens the consultants who profit from managed defeat. He threatens the media who depend on access over accuracy. He threatens the bureaucrats whose real power comes from staying hidden, unaccountable, embedded in agencies most Americans couldn't even name. If Trump wins again, it's not just the White House they lose. It's the illusion that they were ever in control for the right reasons. It's the myth that their version of progress has public consent. It's the mask of neutrality worn by journalists, judges, generals, and professors who have long since chosen a side and can no longer pretend otherwise. They know it. That is why they must act now. Why every lever of institutional power, from prosecutors in Georgia to special counsels in Washington, is being deployed in the same direction, with the same urgency, under the same pretense. Because time is running out. The public is waking up, and the populist wave they thought they crushed in 2016 is stronger than ever, precisely because of their overreach. Here's the most devastating part. They can't stop. Because if they let up for even a moment, they know what comes next. Trump wins, and then the investigation turns on them. If the goal was to break Trump, they failed. If the aim was to divide his supporters, they've done the opposite. Because with every raid, every indictment, and now another impeachment attempt, the American people see exactly what's happening, and they're not buying it. In fact, they're doing the one thing the elites never expected. They're getting louder. The establishment thought they could steer him into silence. They thought they could indict him into irrelevance. But what they've actually done is turned him into something far more powerful. A symbol not just of But resistance.
Hey, how can I help?
A man who is
You got it.
everything is still standing, still fighting, and still saying the things millions of Americans feel that are no longer allowed to say. You don't have to love Trump to see what's going on here. You just have to be paying attention. Because if this campaign to crush him succeeds, the message is crystal clear that elections are meaningless if the results offend the ruling class. That dissent will be punished, not debated. That power no longer belongs to the voter, but to those who claim to protect democracy by destroying anyone who challenges it. This isn't just about Trump anymore. It's about whether ordinary Americans, working people, forgotten communities, parents, veterans, taxpayers, still have a voice in their own country. And every time they go after it, more people realize that they can do it to him, they can do it to anyone. That's why the backlash is growing. On Truth Social, at town halls, across kitchen tables, what you're seeing is not a cult of personality. You're seeing a populist wave that refuses to die. A movement that was never about one man, but about the millions behind him who are sick of being ignored,
Us, the
lied
people.
to, and treated like second-class citizens in their own country.
Now,
They thought another impeachment would weaken him.
Yep.
Instead, it's exposed him.
Yep.
Because people are now asking the right question. Why is Trump the only politician being prosecuted for questioning an election?
Yep.
Why are parents being labeled extremists for speaking at school board meetings?
Yep.
Why are conservatives being censored for saying things that were mainstream 5 years ago?
Yep.
And the answer is simple. Because the regime fears opposition, not because it's violent, but because it's popular. Because this movement is bigger than one man. And it terrifies them that
Yep.
it might actually finish what he started.
Yep.
It terrifies them that 2016 wasn't a fluke,
Yep.
but a preview.
Yeah.
It terrifies them that millions of Americans, after everything, are still standing with him, louder, more resolved than ever before.
Yep.
They thought they could demoralize his base, but what they created was a movement forged in adversity, refined by betrayal, and hardened by truth. They created an electorate that no longer trusts the narratives, no longer buys the excuses, and no longer believes that the system is neutral, and that distrust is not dangerous, it is earned. Because a republic cannot survive when the law is used as a weapon instead of a shield. And when Trump wins, it doesn't just mean they lose the White House. It means the entire machine, the media spin, the bureaucratic rot, the censorship complex begins to unravel. It means the public regains control over its own government. It means accountability for those who believe they were above the Constitution itself. This isn't just political anymore.
Mhm.
It's personal. The
Mhm.
people who stood by quietly for decades are standing up. The people who were told to shut up and sit down and speaking in thunder. And the people who were mocked as deplorable are now the ones holding the line.
Yeah.
They think they're silencing. What they're really doing is confirming everything he warned us about.
Yeah.
Now it's too late.
Yeah.
It's horrible. The system has been exposed. And if
Yeah.
next, it's because they still don't understand who they're dealing with.
They can never understand who they're dealing with. Cause they gotta get this shit, and we gonna get to their ass.